And welcome back to my channel. My name is Rusty, and this is my channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, and my favorite music, mostly metal. And welcome. What the hell am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I am going to talk about a rare occurrence. Now, everyone knows that slasher is my favorite subgenre of horror. And although I am not a completionist, I do I do like finding my out of the way slashers because it is my favorite genre. I have lots of leeway, like you do in your favorite genre. But I'm going to talk now about a movie that really, 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 really disappointed me. It's really, really bad. And not in the good way. It's bad. I hate admitting that, but it's bad. And I don't understand why. Why would you do that? But it's called Do You Want to Know a Secret? You really don't. I did. Then when I found out the secret, I totally didn't understand it. But I'm not saying that, oh, well, now I have a junker. I don't. I mean, I'm glad I have it. Being a slasher collector, that's how come I've got it. You may have never even heard of it, like you might a lot of the slashers that I have, because it being my favorite genre, I am searching high and low for them. But very rarely am I disappointed. Curiosity kills, it says. It says curiosity kills. What? What? There was nothing to be curious, it turns out, about. Sure, you're curious. Okay, wait, I said that wrong. There was something to be curious about. It's just that when you found the answer to the question, you were just like, what? For what? Well, that's a letdown. Anticlimactic. I now know what that word means. If I did not know what the word anticlimactic meant before, I do now. And so will you. They should put this movie beside the definition in the dictionary. But Do You Want to Know a Secret was released in 2001. It is rated R for some reason, because it damn sure isn't because of anything in the movie. I have no earthly idea why it's rated R. As a matter of fact, I don't think it would be rated PG-13. Literally, I think it would be rated PG. It's like a fucking Lifetime movie. I don't know. It's very strange. So, now, this movie was directed by Bradford. You should be ashamed of yourself. It was written by Kermit Christmas and Tenney. You two both should, quit or go away or something. And it stars Joey Lawrence, fucking Chad Allen, Jeff Conaway, Michael Sarysz, and Dorie Barton. That's three actors that I knew who it was. And you know what? The guy who plays the detective, I don't know. I don't feel like looking down there. But I know him from movies too. And so I'm like, you'll see when I get to the end. So the movie opens up at a college dorm room. Good setting. Who receives a letter under his door saying, do you want to know a secret? He comes out from the hall. There's a little jump scare. He's looking, thinking it's his girlfriend. Then he gets down to the end of the hall and starts to turn into this room. And wow, it's like this. It's like that scene from Exorcist 3, where that priest comes walking by, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner comes that nun, with the white thing and the scissors. It was like that, only it was with an axe. And it was pretty brutal. I mean, you heard him like chopping him up, and you're like, fuck, that's got to hurt, you know. So it starts out like with you going, it's okay. I mean, you know, what's up? What's up? Then the camera moves down there, and you see his cut up body, and he's got his hand on a broken picture of him and his girlfriend. Then you see his girlfriend wake up. It's a year later. She wakes up from a nightmare, and Joey Lawrence comes in, and they're getting ready to go to Florida on spring break in college, right? So you're like, okay, let's go then. So we spend the next 40 minutes doing nothing much at all, really. You meet people. You meet Chad Allen. You meet Tina, and I'll find her name. It's like I said, I'm not even sure if I'll use my notes because there's really no point. There's nothing much to remember. I mean, the only reason I'm doing this actually is because people complain I never put anything up that I didn't like. So here you go. But it's Tina is the other girl. But anyway, there's some funny one-liners here and there. Zach or Hank has rented them a house. So him and Beth, and you have Oz and Tina, Oz's girlfriend. That's her name. I can't remember until I see it somewhere. But yeah, you meet Zach, right? Is his name Zach? Hank? Yeah, Zach. Okay, I'll get going here. So, he meets Zach. You meet Zach. So it's this little friend group. They've rented a house. It's a really cool house, though. I like the house. And it's pretty much just like interpersonal drama and bullshit. And I'm like going, what is this? Like Jersey Shore? You know? And you've got some creeper that's watching them. I mean, you get this point of view of a creeper, and you're like, oh, okay, there's a creeper around. Well, first of all, I did see a motherfucker cut up with an axe at the beginning of this. What the fuck is that? Where is it at? Okay? Alright, I've seen enough of these people acting stupid. Let's start killing them, shall we? You know, that's kind of my feeling at the 40 minutes into it. So, fighting and bullshit and interpersonal drama. After a cool axe kill at the beginning, I'm just kind of wondering what's going on. And then, of course, you have Jeff Conaway playing, you know, the creepy detective. Well, he's not creepy. He just more looks like sad. And something about his daughter was a person that has been killed. And they all seem to be from this same college, you know. He had worked on that case, Beth's boyfriend. So he knows something's up, but he doesn't really know what's up. So 40 minutes into the damn movie, we've seen Zach look like he was attacked on the boat, but you didn't see it. Then they go to a rave. The rave scene was pretty cool. A guy tries to slip her a roofie, and this guy is like poster boy for, you know, 1-800 he's so fine, that motherfucker's going to answer the phone. Okay? If you dial that. So he tries to slip her a roofie, but Hank saw him putting it in the drink, and so the, you know, little bitch fight, you know, goes on. She goes outside in a huff, where she then calmly and coolly as a cucumber watches this happy face killer, masked killer thing, and you're like, finally. kills him, but it's like, I don't even know if I should say this. There is a sexual activity known as edging. That's where a person gets them right up to the point of orgasm, but then stops. That's what this movie does to you through the whole fucking thing. So, you start seeing this really cool kill scene, like the way he smashes him into that car on the hood, is on the bonnet of the car, busts the window, and then it's like carving, "Do you want to know a secret?" into his back. But they're not showing you any of it. Really. And you're like, man, I was almost there. What's up? That could have been like a really cool scene, and like you just like flopped out at the end. So Oz finds Brad's shirt in the water. Detective Sachs, from the FBI, he's there. He interviews them, tells them that all the victims have been from that college. Then tells them they have to stay in that place while he continues his investigation. We see Oz get KO'd in the kitchen. Finally, the two girls, Tina. I bet her name is right here somewhere. But the two chicks, he gets, Tina and Nellie. How could I not remember Nellie? But Tina and Nellie are killed out by the pool in broad daylight. Now that is one thing interesting about this movie, is like fucking the kills just like take place like, it was like when Beth watched that killer murder that boy on the hood, and she was just basically going, and I'm like, bitch, scream or something. I mean, what the fuck? And then I thought, well, he did try to slip her a roofie. Maybe she's just like going, that's it, do it to him one more time. I don't know. It was very strange. Either that, or she just, as an actress, didn't have the ability to have any kind of, I don't know. So, Tina and Nellie are killed out at the pool. Both of them were just throat cuts. And one was after the fact. It's sort of like, there's a killer by the window. There's a dead body. You know what must have happened in between those two scenes. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Why didn't you show me? What the fuck is this, Nickelodeon? I don't know. Is this Goosebumps? What the fuck? So, it's like when Nellie was killed. When Nellie was killed, like she got out the pool. She was swimming under the pool while the killer cut Tina's throat over there while she was sitting on the thing. You didn't see it, of course. You just saw somebody watching her from the bushes, from his point of view. And then you saw her throat cut laying there with blood all over the place when Nellie come up out of the pool. You see her climb up going, girl, we got to get going, and stuff like that. And she turns around. Then all of a sudden you're underwater at the bottom of the pool looking up through the water when you see something happen to Nellie, and she screams and she falls into the water, and there's a gash and blood, and you're like, I bet that looked cool up there where we could have seen it. I bet that was a cool kill up there where we had a turtle's eye view of it. I don't really get that either. So Oz, he gets up off the floor after a nasty scene. Maybe that's where the rated R came in, when he had a big piece of glass in his foot and he had to pull it out. That was pretty gross, but it's like, okay. So he goes out there and sees their bodies. He calls the cops, and the cops fucking arrest him. It's like, I don't know. You've got red paint on your hands, and there's this big sign on the window. It's written, "Do you want to know a secret?" And so he's like, ugh. But he didn't do it. You know what I mean? So then, and this is another strange thing. All of a sudden, after he gets arrested and taken off, and they're like, Hank and Beth are talking to Jeff Conaway's character, Detective Sachs, or Agent Sachs, and they're like, can they just do that? Just take him. I mean, there's no evidence, It's like, paint on his hands. What? Right after that scene where Hank and Beth are going to go down to the Nick, the police station, to like check on him and get him a lawyer and stuff. All of a sudden, out of the blue, there's like a priest and his wife. A priest. I'm assuming, yeah. Okay, yeah. It was his daddy. So a priest and his wife. I guess he's a priest of some kind. He's got that black collar with the white thing on it. So all of a sudden there's that going on, and they're tied up, and you see some person like a home. They're being forced to watch home movies of this little kid who looks really, really mad at the camera. He looks about 4. And he's like looking at the camera and he's saying weird shit. And the mother is like, please can I get you something to eat, son, or something like that. And this figure like slaps the shit out of her on the couch, and you hear a scream, and you go, and you're like sitting there going, what was that? Was that the killer? Was that like the killer? That was the killer's mom, I'm assuming? And he was forcing them to watch home movies. I guess he was abused or something, because the kid did not look happy with his little cowboy hat on. He did not look happy. He was looking like a little psycho. A 4-year-old psycho is what he looked like at the camera. But you're like, where did that come in? That was just like spliced in to the movie for some reason. So they go down to the police station, and they can't, he's gotten a lawyer and he's gotten out, and she's in there, and when she goes back outside, Hank's gone, right? Joey Lawrence's character. Hank's gone, and she's like looking around for him, and she looks over there at this truck that's cranking up, and she sees on the dash that party mask at the rave that was killing that boy on the car. And so she's like, that's the killer. So she jumps in the car and she takes off and is following it. So she follows it way out into the backwoods of Florida, which is where I live. And I can tell you it's not some place that you just want to willy-nilly drive your car out to. But she drives out into this place. She calls Oz on the phone, tells him what's up. He goes up there and meets her. It's like, because she like saw the road signs and all. So he goes and he meets her. They go walking towards the house when all of a sudden Oz is fucking knocked out. Like from behind a tree, like kaboom, you're down. And he wakes up in sort of like this storeroom or basement or something. And Beth wakes up and she's in a fucking wedding dress and a wedding veil. And this happy face killer thing is like looking at her and fixing her lipstick and shit. And you're like, and then it's like this weird gothic church setup with candles all down the aisle. And then you notice there's Tina's body and Nellie's body and that priest and that woman. They're all there. And so he takes the gag off of her and is like, she's like, what the fuck? Who are you? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, please. And then he like takes his mask off And it's fucking Zach. The boy that was attacked on the boat. Like, way back in the movie. And I'm like, okay, well, I thought it was going to be Hank. But okay, it's Zach. And he leans down to her. He leans down to her and he goes, do you want to know a secret? And I'm like, God, yes, please. You know? And then he's like, I love you. And I'm like, really? I love you so much that I've killed all these people for you. And I'm like, dude, please, what the fuck, man? You can't honestly tell me that's the secret. First of all, you two motherfuckers dated years ago, a couple years ago in college. You broke up. So it ain't like you ain't hit that before. What could possibly the obsession be? It's not like you ain't wanting to go nowhere you ain't been. I don't understand. What? How? What? So, you're left sitting there going, that can't possibly be all, right? You know? Just think about Norman Bates. It takes a lot to turn someone into a psycho, and you just obsess. So, Oz finally gets in there, tries to defend her. He beats the shit out of him, ties him up to the pole. The whole time she's trying to work her wrist loose. She finally does manage to get her wrist loose, knocks the fuck out of him, ends up, you know, and Oz over there, he's getting loose too. I'm like, motherfucker don't know how to make a knot. I can tell you that. Oz gets loose. Fight. He's almost strangling Oz to death when she fucking impales him. You see a little bit of blood, you know, blood pouring all over Oz's face. Because, you know, he's on top of him, strangling him. And then, and earlier, like before she got loose, she's like, when Hank gets here, he's going to kick your ass. And he's like, well, let's ask him and see. And like takes his head up, you know, and shows her his head. And she barely reacts to it. I'm sorry, but this girl, like you, no, I'm sorry, sweetie. You need to move back to bumfuck Ohio. Get a job at a restaurant. Work your way up to manager. But acting, this is not the place for you. It's just not. Sorry. If you ever see this, I hope you are the manager of a Waffle House somewhere. That's all I got to say. So, Hank's dead. This dude has done all of this because he's obsessed with her. And he like has this long drawn out monologue of his trying to act as psychotic as he could act. And it's really not working very well. Chad, you know, Chad Allen, I feel for you, baby. I do. Because you are trying to get this dialogue out and sound like Norman Bates or something, but even you as an actor know there isn't enough motivation in the secret to account for the fucking shit I'm doing. We haven't told the audience anything that would make my behavior, you know, they even like cut the detective's throat, not Sachs, but the other detective, the one that I recognize from other shows, cut his throat in the next John, right? Try that shit today. I mean, he literally killed a detective, cut his throat in the bathroom in a police station. Yeah, right. But Anyway, I feel for you because what is the motivation for all of this mayhem? Because if it's, I love you so much, what? It's not like, I mean, y'all were still friends. You dated, you were broke up, you're not friends anymore. But you're still friends. You're still hanging out in the same spring break house. You went on vacation together. So, she stabs him. Her and Oz start walking away. He still gets up, and Sax shows up and comes in there and shoots him some more. So he's dead. And the three of them walk out. And as they're walking out, he tells them, and this was so hard to understand, he tells them that the message that was on Zach's laptop, do you want to know a secret? They had taken the laptop and they had went, and it turns out that the name that he was using at college was not his real last name, and that priest that you saw in that little scene was his father. Well, we already knew that. It was obviously his mom, because, so his mom and his dad. What was she, having an affair with the priest? Or were they married? I don't know. But his last name was actually the last name of that preacher. And I'm like, yes, Jeff, but that's not explaining anything. So what? He was using a different last name at college. And you're telling this to us as if this is supposed to make us go, oh, well, I see why he fucking murdered 20 fucking people. No. So, and he had went on and on in his monologue about how fashion and you rich people, and he was so jealous of their clothes and their money and their shit like that, and they were such rich people. And I'm like, okay, so from what information the movie gave us, he had a mother who was married to a priest and or had an affair with the priest. He was an angry-looking little motherfucker about 4 years old in some home movies. He went to college, but used a different name for some reason. He was from a poor background. He was hanging out with a bunch of rich kids. He dated this girl named Beth. Their relationship didn't work out, but they remained friends. He suddenly starts murdering people around her. Killed her boyfriend. A year later, they all go to fucking spring break together, where he kills a bunch more of them. And that's the end. And the big secret was that I love you very much. I wrote, only for slasher completionists. Serious waste of actors. You've got fucking Jeff Conaway. You've got fucking Joey Lawrence and Chad Allen in their prime. 2001. In their prime. And you don't show their asses? You've got these huge, big-breasted Bahama mamas, and you don't show the straight boys a boob shot? They slut around the pool doing those shots where you have to bend over and pick up the shot glass with your mouth and dumb. You do all of this sexual innuendo, but you don't even show a boob shot. You have a scene on the beach. It was pretty funny. Where this fucking, I don't know what the hell she was, but she walked up like a porn star from hell. She walked up to this taco boy. And this little flat-chested 17-year-old was standing wanting to eat. He's like, do you have a hamburger? No. Do you have a hot dogs? No. You know, it's at a fucking food stand. And it's because he can't keep his eyes on her. He's looking at this entirely. Them things need to be deflated a little bit. Otherwise, you ain't going to be able to walk straight. You're going to have back problems all your life. But that was kind of funny, you know, because finally, after she asked for like 5 different things, you know, pizza? No. Cheeseburger? No. Hamburger? No. Hot dog? No. And then he goes, it's a taco stand. And she goes, ah. And she walks away. And I'm like, the fuck ever. And then the girl comes up there and she's like, I'll show you my tits for a taco. You know, and he's like, what you give me for 2? And then the cop is behind him and is like, hey lady, have you ever been in handcuffs? And she's like, and walks away. And I'm like, and then the cop is like, that was a stupid question for me to ask. And I'm like, yeah, it was. I mean, the whole thing was stupid. I just don't understand. So, could have been great. Not sure what this was made for. And I'm not. PG at best. And that's no lie. I mean, what? They showed a severed head in the shadows? A shadowy severed head? There was that little bit of blood when she, like, impaled him. There was no nudity. They did show Joey Lawrence and her in a steamy shower when Oz opened the door. So you got to see Joey Lawrence's chest and you got to see her doing this. And that was it. And it got no closer to nudity than that in the whole movie. And I don't understand how this is rated R. I just don't understand what this could possibly be. So, how could you... It was... I don't know. I don't know anything else more to say. You've got Jeff Conaway, who's brilliant in the parts that he has in it. I mean, he's Jeff Conaway. He acts like Jeff Conaway. Joey Lawrence is just flawless. Chad Allen is flawless. The other 2 chicks were pretty. Beth, I don't know. I mean, you might think she's pretty. I don't know. But the fucking bitch could not act her way out of a paper bag that's wet. I mean, she would still be stuck in the thing suffocating. Tina and Nellie were, I guess they were all right. But Chad Allen is a good actor, and Joey Lawrence is a good actor, and Jeff Conaway is a good actor, and everybody else was pretty much okay. Even the stupid boy that got killed on the car, he acted perfectly fine. But this movie was nothing. I don't understand. So, I'm not sorry that I have it, you know. Thankfully, I'm not a super completionist. Usually I can recognize shit. You got me. But if you had put some boobs and butt, and some blood and kills, if all of those kills that you did not show, you showed, put Joey Lawrence stepping out the shower naked for me. Chad Allen skinny dipping off in the boat for me. And then Tina and Nellie's boobies in the pool and Miss Taco, you'd have had a great movie. What's up? You know, so I don't get it. Do you want to know a secret? It made absolutely no fucking sense. I actually spent 20 minutes on Google after this trying to find out what was the ending. What did that mean? He was abused? He was jealous? What? There was not enough information here. I could not find anywhere on Google. I ended up going to International Movie Base and reading a bunch of the spoiler reviews. I ended because I thought maybe somebody would say in the spoiler reviews what exactly his problem was, so that I could go, oh, was that it? I didn't know because I couldn't figure it out. No, it turns out nobody can figure out why the fuck this motherfucker was killing everybody, because they don't want to accept that he was just doing it because he was jealous of their money, which he had no reason to be. He was obviously getting everything they gave him. He was obviously living fine. But according to him, he killed all these people because I love you so much. That's the secret. That was stupid shit. That's all I got to say. So there you go. Rusty finally got taken for a ride. Okay. I don't make these mistakes very often. I read the reviews. I only trust fan reviews, though. I don't trust critics. But I read the reviews. I kind of look. There isn't a lot of information about this, like I told you, which is probably why I got fooled. You know? I got fooled because there wasn't anybody out there telling me the secret. Because nobody knows the secret. So I thought that it was going to be a good slasher with all of the qualities of a slasher, because it is rated R. And it's just not. I don't get it. So I got taken for a ride. I got, what did I pay for this? I think I paid like $7 for it. $7, $8, It's a new little slasher. I really don't know anymore. I mean, I don't really have bad movies in my collection. I've got Halloween Resurrection. I've got Prom Night Remake. Those were bad fuck-ups. So this is a long time coming. I mean, usually I'm very, very good at research. This sucks. However, it is okay to see Joey and Chad and everybody in their prime, and Jeff Conaway's dead now, so it's good to have, something that he was in. I don't even know why he was in this. His part didn't really mean anything. He certainly didn't discover anything dramatic. I mean, you had to have an FBI agent to find out that he was using a different name, a last name. And why did it matter that that was his daddy? What happened to him? I'm not even going to... Look, I'm still trying to go back into it. I don't know. So, yeah, I got fucked. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. And there's not a lot of them. So, I'm okay. I've got 2,300 DVDs and Blu-rays. I may have 5 of them that suck. So I'm very good at my job, okay? But I will admit it. And do it. I told you. So, people who wonder, how come you just do movies that you love and stuff like that? I'm like, because that's all I've got. I ain't buying shit I don't like, but okay. There you go. I fucked up, bought something blind. It turned out to be absolute garbage. And I'm right here admitting it to you and showing you and telling you all about it. Please, if you have this, like this, or seen this and like this, please tell me why. And if you know the secret, well, we all know the secret. If you know why that secret deserved 20 bodies, because that's all we saw was bodies. We didn't see the kills. But yeah, let me know. Love you, miss you. Bye-bye. Have fun with that rant. I'll see you in the next one.